Hi, welcome back to another gadget report. Let's talk gadgets. And this week, as I promised you last week, we're gonna talk about aviation for 2025. That um, forecast, prediction, analysis, whatever you like to call it, that became quite a tradition in my channel. Um, and then, as it has also become a tradition, at the end of the year, I will confirm or deny my provisions. So let's talk about aviation for 2025. So let's talk aviation, let's talk gadgets. This year, uh, again, I think we are still in that process of um, getting aviation back. I think in most parts it has reached that point. People are traveling, flights are restored. There's more offerings in a lot of countries. Airlines are expanding their offerings and going um, other places. So that is definitely something I think it's amazing, but there's also a few setbacks. Um, so let's see what I think it's going to be 2025 for aviation. And let's see if you agree with me. Let's go. So, first, um, I think, and as I was saying, statistics show that in terms of passengers, in terms of profits, etc., etc., aviation uh, definitely has recouped past the pandemic and all those years of disruption that it had caused by the pandemic. I think passenger levels, in fact, I actually believe that are higher than pre-pandemic. People are more eager to fly. People want to go everywhere, etc., etc. Demand is very high, and supply is increasing, which is a good thing, because if we have an increase in supply, we have an increase in um, offerings and an increase in competition between airlines, and that will always benefit the passenger, always benefit the customer. I think in the long run benefits the airline as well, because it just keeps them in on their toes. It just keeps them grounded. Uh, if you let it, and this is my view, if you let an airline to be dominant in a certain part of the world or for a certain market, that airline comes complacent. That airline then believes they oh well, we don't need to change, we don't need to do anything because we are dominant here. And that's wrong, and that's bad. Not only bad for obviously for the travelers who want to travel, who want to go somewhere, and they obviously are going to be somehow stopped by first the lack of offerings, secondly by the high pricing, because when you create monopolies or duopolies or whatever that might be, um, you always tend to be restricted in terms of pricing because there's no competition. Uh, this is obviously bad. So if you have competition and you have more airlines competing for that particular market, it's positive for everyone. It's positive for the customers that get better options in terms of flights, and it's better for the airline because they keep on competing and they keep on improving themselves, because they know that if they let themselves down, they will lose that market, they will lose those clients. So I think competition is always good for in every aspect of it. um, as I said, airlines are opening new routes or reestablishing old ones, which is a very positive thing. And again, as I said, competition. For example, and I'm looking at my screen, Um, in Australia, Turkish Airlines has now offerings for flights from Sydney. Um, at the date I'm recording this video, they have flights, for example, for March, from March 11 to March 19, and the round trip for these dates would be $1,634, so 1,634 Aussie dollars. So this was just one example I picked from there. They also have Sydney, and this is Sydney to Istanbul. They have Sydney to London, for example, $1,682. So uh, this is good. It's good that we have another airline coming in, and it's one of the most popular airlines at the moment. They have very good reviews, um, and it's good that you have this, because um, it really it's I believe for Australia it's really important to break into this market and to create more competition, um, because it's only gonna be positive. And that goes to the second part of my video, which is what I think aviation is going to be for Australia. So Australia is a totally different ecosystem, and it's been for a while. At the moment, we have Qantas as the dominant airline in the country for both markets, and that is not a positive outcome, especially on the domestic market. Qantas with Jetstar, so Qantas Group, um, totally dominates the market, and that's very, I think, is very damaging for our market. We need more competition. Recently, Rex um, had another bailout from the government, which was very, I believe it's a positive thing, because we really need those regional areas to have those flights. And of course, if Rex disappears altogether, they won't have any offerings. And if Qantas is going to enter that market, they know it will be, the pricing would be too high, and they would probably won't be able to afford it, or will be extremely high, because that's what Qantas has been doing. And as you know, I love Qantas. I just think this has been a roller coaster of, in my view, bad management. Um, so that is something. I was very sad with what happened to Bonza last year, and Rex. I think it would have been a great outcome for Australia if we still had these two airlines operating and offering flights. For example, in the case of Bonza, they were offering flights to other areas, exploring other markets, and giving those areas the benefit of having an increase in tourism, which I believe was a positive thing. Unfortunately, Bonza didn't survive, and I'm very sad about it. Demand is there. There is a demand. Australians like to travel. We like to travel abroad. We like to travel um, at home. However, what I think is unfortunate, and basically uh, also due to this huge lack of competition in the domestic market, sometimes it's easier for us, or it's cheaper to take a flight to Singapore, or take a flight to Bali, or take a flight overseas, than, for example, going for a week from Sydney to, let's say, Darwin, or Perth, or anywhere in Australia. And this shouldn't be the case. And this is actually causing a lot of Aussies, a lot of us, preferring to go overseas, and because it's cheaper, obviously, let's face it. We are in a crisis at the moment. Um, if this is affecting, because obviously affects when you can't pay your mortgage, when you can't pay your food, or you're struggling to pay your food, of course you're not going to go on holidays. So it's affecting, and it's something that obviously will affect the dynamics of traveling this year. And if inflation keeps on a high level worldwide, of course it will have some effect on aviation and some effect on flying. um, but I think, if you really want to fly, of course you're going to look at pricing, and if it's cheaper to fly, let's say for a trip to Bali, people are going to go to Bali instead of just flying within Australia because it's going to be more expensive. So I think that's the negative effect that is having this lack of competition. We need more competition, so the pricing regulates, and we have a more fair pricing, because at the moment I don't think it's very fair. Um, and we need that competition on a high level. We need more airlines to come to step in and start coming to Australia. I said as a joke on my last video, I would love to see the comeback of the European airlines to the international market. I would like to see the comeback, for example, KLM, Swissair, all those airlines from Europe. I would like to see them back, because not only that would create more competition, would give us more offering, which is good. At the moment, as I said, from the European airlines, I believe the only one flying um, directly to Australia is British Airways, but I would like to see more. So my projections for this year, um, I think obviously one of the things that will still be um, in the card, and pretty much on the minds of airlines and the industry in general is the environment, and the way of decarbonizing the industry. I think so far, I think from what I've seen and from what I've been reporting, it is a good job that has been done. The production of SAF fuels and the development of green hydrogen, etc., etc. I think that is a good measure, and is a step in the right direction. I think the industry is going in the right direction. I believe that will be an headline or a highlight for 2025. It will continue to be, it has been for some time now. Um, you know, uh, Aircraft will become more and more fuel efficient. They will become better on to what they do. They will become greener, and that's always a positive. So I think that trend will continue. And of course, I think, as I said, if inflation will start coming down, we will see a redevelopment and people wanting to fly more and more, even though, and as I said, demand is very high, people are traveling, but of course when it reach that threshold that you can't really um, afford your most important things like your mortgage, or your rent, your food, um, the school for your kids, etc. Of course you're going to cut on those things that you don't, it's not a prime necessity, like for example restaurants, holidays, and all those things. So I think that may affect the volume of passengers. If the economies worldwide, if the world economy starts to stabilize and inflation starts coming down, it may be a positive sign, and that may in time help increase even more the volume. But of course, I think it is important to have a lot of competition. I think it's the secret. It's a lot of competition, a lot of offerings, so people have choice, and they can choose wherever they want to go, and they have more than one airline offering flights to that destination, so they can choose which one they would like to fly with. So this was my prediction. I think it's going to be a little bit of a I would say a rough patch because of all this inflation situation. In Australia, the continuation of this lack of good, healthy competition. But I think in the end, it will be a positive year for aviation again. I think overall it will continue to grow, it will continue to go up, and it won't be anything near what we saw in the past. I don't even think that. I wouldn't even go there. Um, so I think it's going to be another positive year. So let's revisit this video in December and see if I was right. And that's all for today. I hope you like my projections. Let's see if I'm right in December. So, what do you think? What do you think about my projections? What do you think about what I said today? Let me know your thoughts. Leave me your comment below. Do you agree that, for example, in Australia, we definitely need more competition? You think we are just about right? Are you planning any trips for this year? Are you going overseas? Are you choosing to stay and fly within Australia to also help boost our tourism industry? Let me know. Let me know what your plans are. Um, as you know, last year I flew overseas. I went to Portugal. So far this year I have no flying plans, but we never know. What about you? Let me know your plans. And I'm always receptive. If you have any subject, any ideas for something you would like me to talk about, gadget related, of course, let me know. And I will be very happy to accommodate that. Maybe next month we will have some gadget reports. There will be more tourism related rather than gadget related, um, because I would like to talk about a few places that I visited in Portugal um, more in detail. So I might do a few videos about that. But I'm always open to new suggestions. I would like to ask you because my channel has been growing and I'm very happy for that. Thank you very much for being on that side. And another thing is, a lot of you just come and watch my videos, but you guys don't put a like, for example, or share or subscribe the channel. And that is something that you can do totally free and um, will help my channel grow, will help YouTube algorithm to show my videos to more people, and that obviously would help my channel grow and will help me. So please, if you can, put a like on the video and subscribe the channel with a little click on the bell so you get a notification of another gadget report every week before I go. And as always, I wish you a very good week. Have a good one. Thank you very much for watching, and I see you next week. Bye.